Imagine transforming your weathered deck into a year-round oasis, or finally fixing that leaky roof before the next nor'easter hits. That's the kind of real talk we're bringing to homeowners in Massachusetts and beyond. Welcome to the PLJ podcast, where craftsmanship meets innovation. I'm your host, Melissa. Welcome back to the PLJ podcast, everyone. I am super excited today because we have a local crafter carpentry expert to introduce you to. You might know him already. I'm excited to introduce you to Dieyson Suman of Suman Custom Carpentry.
Well, hello. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Yeah, thanks so much for coming on.
I'm very grateful to be here. Like I said, I am a fan of you guys and the work you've been doing. So to be called here was a wonderful surprise.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm a big fan of your work as well. I saw it on social media the other week, and it just really stood out, and
I'm glad that it stood out. That standing out, we hope that it comes off as organically, our passion for the work we do comes out for people to see, So I'm thankful that that's what's resonating with you guys.
Yeah, that was my first impression. So, can you tell our listeners about yourself, your professional trajectory, your journey, and what inspired you to get into the world of carpentry?
I can. So I started my carpentry journey in Nantucket as a challenge. I lived in New Jersey at the time, and I had an option to either stay in New Jersey or come to work in the Nantucket Islands. I married, my wife is from the Cape, and I had a decision to make. And I remember standing on my bedside, and I was like, am I not going because I think it's going to be uncomfortable? It's going to be too much of a challenge, because I knew it was going to be a big challenge, and I was very comfortable at the job I had. And if the answer is you're just not doing it because it's a challenge, you have to go. And so I decided to take the plunge. I went to go work in Nantucket, which is a challenge in of itself.
I bet.
And but it was great. To me, it was a crash course on custom carpentry and how things are done the correct way. I was fortunate enough to have a great teacher who taught me, my mentor in carpentry, who taught me how to work and gave me the space and time that I needed. And once I felt like I was ready, I had enough knowledge and enough passion to go ahead and start my own journey. So in 2017, I started gearing towards becoming my own company.
Yeah, your own entity. Was that the 2017 project in Nantucket that inspired you? Because I read that on your website. There was a specific project that made you want to do it independently.
It was for a particular homeowner. I'm not going to say names, but it really was where I saw that I can do this. We were working on his staircase, and I completed the entire staircase, and we had done these fabulous ceilings and staircases and everything. And seeing him and his family come home for the summer and having the project ready and just being really excited, it was something I could be proud of. I was, they're inspired to I think I can do this on my own. And so, yeah, that was the beginning of then what's happened since then.
Like I mentioned, and you emphasize this too in your work, that everything is built from scratch, handmade. They're not those pre-cut, kind of cookie cutter things that I've seen a lot of other bigger companies, whether it's kitchens, that's kind of one of the main ones I see, where it's more mass produced. So with everything being handmade and made with passion, how do you and your team adapt for your customers, when you're looking at someone's kitchen, and, how do you reassure them that they're going to be getting top quality?
I think it starts with the process that we've established, the know-how. So just to clarify, I own Suman Custom Carpentry, and I co-own Up Level Cabinetry, which is our cabinet shop. And there, I have a business partner. His name is Rodrigo, and he is a cabinet wizard. both on the design end and on the fabrication end. So we mashed up our knowledge of interior carpentry and dealing with homeowners and the challenges. Well, not just homeowners, builders, architects, designers. Most of the work we do, matter of fact, is actually B2B. It's directly for high-end builders, architects, and then we do take on some homeowner direct projects. I believe it's process. It's understanding what it takes, working with the client, reassuring them that everything that they want, being realistic about everything that they want, and just being like, oh, you can do this, you can't do that. These are your constraints. This is how as crazy as you can go. Go get them. So I believe correct process, and that also comes from learning along the way, right? Obviously, we've made our fair share of mistakes, and the idea is that you improve your system with every single project, and eventually you're confident enough to take on these higher scale custom project jobs. They're much easier, right, to do once you've got a few under your belt.
Yeah, exactly. So you do projects like you said, your B2B. So whether that might be a building that houses restaurants or offices, or what is the full list? Can you tell our listeners all of your offerings and services?
Sure. So with a custom cabinet shop, the podcast wouldn't have enough time for all of everything we can do. I say that jokingly, but it really is the world's your oyster. We do kitchens, closets, mudrooms, pantries, bookcases, fireplace built-ins, storage solutions, shelving, countertops. I mean, you name it. Yeah. Not only are we building them, we also offer, the finishing with a bunch of different options of paint colors that you can choose, and finishes and sheens. And so the whole advantage of the custom cabinet shop is exactly that. So when I'm working with a local architect who has a vision, they'll come to us who can execute on the vision. And to your point, there's this fallacy that every cabinet shop is the same. It's not. There's mass produced, there's custom, right? And so we are that's why we hand built everything, and everything's built here in Hyannis in-house. So
yeah, you told me your shop's down in Hyannis, just down the road, so it's totally local, which we love.
It really is. If you throw a rock, it will land it from here.
With that being said, a lot of Cape Cod homes are unique. Whether it's the structure, they have their own set of unique challenges. Like, I'm even thinking about, of course, it's not necessarily all exterior, but there's like salt air, and like there's different angles and styles. So how do you navigate that? And especially when you talk about working with architects like you were just talking about.
Being able to intake information and seeing it in your mind exactly how they want things done and putting it on paper. Once you start that process of putting it, on paper and the planning and everything that comes with that, then that's where maybe we'll hit some constraints. But for the most part, we try to take, as crazy as an idea an architect and our designer may have, and there's a lot of them, we try to go 100% of the way what they want. And sometimes, we have to make compromises here or there. But it really is understanding exactly what they're asking and knowing how to do that on the other side, because sometimes they know how to ask, but they don't necessarily know what it takes. So there's that transition, and that's not a knock on any architect or designer. Just, it is what it is. We're all specialized in our own areas. And, if they've said this jokingly to me, it's like, it's not my problem to know how it's done. I just want it done, and it's okay. We love it. It's what we do, right? Of course.
Yeah. At PLJ, we do a lot of exterior remodels and decks, and there's a lot of disturbances and noise. So are you able to tackle some of those unforeseen issues if there's like a client, like you said, it's not a ton of homeowners, but I'm
going to give you the inside trader's secret, all right? you buy them round trip tickets to Florida.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
that's right.
Wow.
You send them off on a vacation, and then you renovate their kitchen. That's what you do.
Awesome.
Yes,
That sounds like the perfect solution.
isn't it? Isn't it? Well, in all seriousness, what we do is I've had homeowners work
That
around
sounds
maybe
like
a
the
particular
perfect
time they're
solution.
out, like a vacation. I've had homeowners say, "Hey, look, we're gonna be out in Maine or somewhere for 2 weeks. Can you get it done?" If that's not the case, I wait until the very last minute when our kitchen is ready and everyone's aligned and there's like it's a quick switcheroo where maybe you're without a kitchen, but you know about this way in advance that hey, this week we're going to be demoing, removing your kitchen and putting a new one back in, and try to make that process as painless as possible. Because I have 4 children, I cook a lot, so I know, a kitchen is a big deal in the house, obviously.
Yeah.
And so we try to make it. Construction isn't simple, right? We are both in it. Exactly. Construction isn't simple. So to care for the needs of the client and try to be as understanding as possible about what they need from you, I think is important. So I hope I'm articulating that correctly, but that's what we try to do. We want to, if there isn't a window of opportunity where there's no one home, we try to let them know well in advance. We're going to be, it's going to be a danger zone in here for a couple of days, Storage solutions are our number one request. We need a new closet. We need more closet space. That's our number one, followed by, I'm not going to mention kitchens because kitchens, we do custom kitchens, but there's so many options when it comes to kitchens. You can get a box brand kitchen. You can get various different styles of kitchen, no problem. If you have a very specific space, you're going to call a custom cabinet shop. So that's where it's like storage solutions followed by bookcases, believe it or not. People love their bookcases, and then followed by fireplace built-ins, which also sometimes incorporate bookcases, vanities, kitchens, and we love the funner projects. Like if you give me like a custom bar area, to do, we love like the challenges, like a golf simulator room where you have like an entertainment area, you want cabinetry. That's where the swagger comes out.
So what other than storage can you help customers maximize? Any projects that come to mind?
With elevating spaces like we do with interior trim work, because that's really the lane we stick with in carpentry, is interior trim work and cabinetry. Most of the time, my idea is open concept, where people want to open up their homes and they want more lighting. So it starts with a more open concept. A lot of the times they'll have these nice beams in the ceilings, we'll do some lighting, and then a lot of times with the kitchens they just want to add more windows. So once you put the whole space together, you get more lighting, more open spaces. And for the interior trim elevation, I feel like that's the biggest thing that we do, is just come in and elevate your space by just modernizing and making everything more open concept.
Yes, open concept. That's exactly what I've been seeing a lot of. Do you feel like you've always had a mind for like being able to like see something and just know how to work it? Do you have a very analytical mind? No?
I'll tell you what happened. I worked for a very nice builder in Nantucket, and he was a mentor at sorts. And he said, Jason, one day you're going to wake up and this is all going to click. And you're just going to see this whole thing coming together in your mind. And it's going to happen one day. You're not even going to realize it. And the bastard was right. It happened. I just happened to start, when people start talking to me, I just start seeing everything. And I just think that comes with experience. I'm not the most analytical person. I am very detail oriented, but like, I love the forward facing, talking to clients and like just bringing their vision to life. I think that's my strong suit. But I really do, like, even with my wife at home, she'll start explaining what she wants, and I see the whole thing done, right? I got to get around to doing it, but I see it done. It's there. I know, honey. I know. Everything going on nowadays, I feel like the trades are having their moment.
Yes.
With everything that's happening with technology, I strongly believe that the trades are going to be even more valuable and maybe to some degree even more competitive in the next 20 to 30 years. So if they want to, I'll certainly kind of lead them in the right path to do construction. Because I remember one generation ago, the fathers would say, I'm going to work hard so you can go to school and study. Well, maybe that's kind of switching. It's like, maybe, you have to work hard so you don't get taken over by a robot, right? I don't know.
Yes, exactly. Like, in radio, people always ask, why do you do live shows when everything's pre-recorded now? Because if my friends or family or someone's listening in, it's not as special if I'm not live. Same thing.
With, you can go into so many houses or apartments is a better example and find, the mass produced stuff. But there's nothing special about it. And I think homeowners here really know that and appreciate something handmade and custom.
That's right. That's right.
Important. It's a part of it, it reflects who they are. People's homes and their style is a big part of their life.
Yeah, and the people that appreciate that, as you grow your company, I've also kind of struggled to put this into words correctly because it is a feeling that I have that I try to pass through to articulate well. But if you appreciate bespoke craftsmanship and you want that to be a part of your home, we would love to be a part of your home story as well. Like, we love that process, and we're very proud to say, hey, and there is no small project, big project. If you want something done in an apartment, or it doesn't matter, across the board, and you give us, you trust us to do what you want, or even sometimes give us a creative liberty, we love that. And I really do appreciate and want to create more than just a one-time client. We're looking to have a relationship with the people we work with, and hopefully do a good enough job where they'll call us back. But I think being a part of a story of someone's home is very special, and I want to convey that to people, is that we want to put a little bit of our passion into your home.
Yes, yeah. And from what I've seen, it shows that it seems like you take pride in all seriousness in the work that you do. So if someone did want to collaborate with you, if it was a business, architect, homeowner, or, someone who needed a bunch of work done, how would they reach out to you? What's your collaboration style? How does all of that start?
I believe the best way is what we're doing right here right now is just talking to each other. You could reach out, email. I'm not a hard person to get a hold of. We sit down, we kind of go over your project, what you like done, what the client needs, and with a B2B type business, I'm going to treat your client even better than if they were my own client, because I want you to succeed. I want to represent I don't want you to feel like choosing Suman was a bad decision by any means. I don't think anybody feels that way. I believe, you guys probably feel the same way. So really locking in and just execution. Execution is huge. I can talk to them blue in the face. What actually proves it is our track record, right? So execution is imperative, and so is having somebody you can work with that's not difficult to work with, having a professional team that's going to stand behind you, execute on your project, and then the follow through. And Melissa, is everything good? Are you all set? Do you need anything else? Could we do anything else? Or is there anything else that needs to get done? That little bit extra. And all you got to, if you ask, and I'm not saying this to gloat by any means, it's just I feel like if you only do what you're paid to do, you're not worth what you're being paid, right? There's a famous Abraham Lincoln saying that I've taken, that I've taken to heart, and it really is true.
Well, what you give, you get back. It's
Yeah.
that simple.
That's true.
You know, if you're giving out half-ass, you'll get that kind of energy back.
Mm-hmm.
And your clients are your best market.
Getting your vision with people that are like-minded I think is crucial. You know, having people that like actually respect your the way you want to execute things, I believe is crucial.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask quickly about materials. What do you find yourself recommending most when it comes to wood or PVC? I know you do trim work and all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm. On the Cape, there is some challenges because of the dilation that we have with wood materials going from shrinking and expanding as the seasons change.
Yes.
So there are materials that we'd rather use on our homes, and it's already been kind of proven already with lumber yards and the places we source material from, kind of what the grade of material should be.
Okay.
For cabinetry specifically, we use a lot of oak, a lot of mahogany, a lot of walnut, not as much, but we do use walnut here and there, maple obviously, but it really comes down to the finish. The finish is the most important piece. Doesn't matter if we use the most expensive wood. If you're going to, if the prep work isn't done well enough, then it doesn't really matter. There's salt air is killer, right?
Yeah.
And so with the cabinetry, what we like to do is we like to use a paint that has a catalyzed finish. And the catalyzed finish is a hardener, and it creates a kind of like a shell. I'm not as nerdy as the painters are. The painters would sit here and talk about this way better than I can, but it is a hardener that allows much more rigidity on the cabinets themselves, scratch resistant, yellow resistant, and just way more weather resistant than it used to be a few years ago. And that's another thing that you get with the custom cabinet shop is the paint is on another level with us.
I've gotten a little tour of a place, I won't name names here on the Cape either, that mass produces, and it's like, they slide it through a thing, it spray paints,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, isn't that cool? And I'm like, not really.
So 4 years later, when you'll actually see the paint peeling off, that's why, is because there are, on the West, they don't have this much of a problem on the West Coast. On the East Coast, because of the humidity, and it's get beat up a lot more over here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Than the West Coast.
It's just drier air.
Finish is
The paint is
really,
important.
yeah.
So if you're getting perfectly square cabinets, and perfectly square doors, and they're going through the paint process, and the paint is, of high standards, you're gonna have cabinets that are gonna outlive you, and it's nice. Maybe this used to be my mom's kitchen, and it's still there. Like that is it's like a nice watch, right? It's like it's part of the story of the house.
Exactly.
These were custom built on the Cape, so
Yes.
that's what we're going for.
Yeah.
It's the Rolex of kitchens.
Hey, I'm sold. I saw your work. I believe that. One sec here. Materials. Okay, so I wanted to wrap up. I do have one other question, but if someone were wanting to get into carpentry or launch their own business, what kind of advice would you give them? Any pitfalls to watch out for, or and then even if they're looking to hire a company, because we hear it from homeowners all the time that they're dealing with delays and this and that. So what kind of advice would you give to aspiring business owners and then homeowners and customers?
For aspiring business owners, if it's the beginning of a trajectory, just be patient with yourself. Make the mistakes. Don't beat yourself up too bad. We all make the mistakes. And just learn from the mistakes. And just be a genuine person. Do what you say you're going to do. Don't try to cheat your way up to the top. I'm saying that because a lot of people think that they can kind of like, oh, I know how to do this now, and then they'll mislead their client about their level of experience. And that is a pitfall, to answer your question. Rushing to say you're a professional and then not executing is a pitfall. So just like be genuine with yourself and your client about your level of experience, and make the jump when you're ready. To a client, I would just say the very opposite. Just if little red flags are going up in your head about the person in front of you that you're trying to contract, maybe just do a little more research on who they are, get some referrals. Don't just go in blind. Get a few quotes, and look at the person's history. Try to find, maybe somebody they've done work for. Call them. Take the extra. I got a great. There's like a local here. He's been in the insurance business for a long time, and he's a friend of mine. And he said to me, before you jump in a pool, check the depth, and then decide if you want to jump in. And so, a major remodel is a big step. Just make sure the company you're working for is going to be the person the company they're actually say they are.
Yeah,
right.
And you can usually, I'm sure you do too, get a feel for someone, like you said, just start having a conversation with them,
Yeah.
You'll love Jason's work. If you haven't seen it, it's super beautiful.
Thank you, Melissa.
I love it. Last question. If you and your wife had one room, one thing to build together, if it's something in your dream house, indoor, outdoor, a simulation golf room, what would it be?
So I have a little girl. She's 5 years old. She's about to be 6. And my wife wants to build her a dollhouse. We have a dollhouse, but it's not the greatest. And she wants to do a dollhouse. So I think I would, if I had the time, and I'll find the time, I think building this dollhouse for my daughter is like our number one thing.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
My dad built us a huge rocking horse when we were
Oh, that's
out
nice.
of wood.
Yeah.
His name was Ed, and we had him for a long time until I think my brother was a teenager when he broke it. But that's so cool. My
Yeah.
God, I would love a custom-made dollhouse, even at 36 years old. That
Exactly.
sounds so
Or you
cool.
could talk to Paulo. Maybe he'll start offering custom-made dollhouses. We'll put in the miniature kitchens inside.
Yes. Oh my God. That's an awesome business idea. Yes.
Think
that's-
about it.
All right, I'm gonna remember that. Gotta write that down. So where are all of the places that our viewers and customers can find you?
So on Instagram, you can find me at Suman Carpentry. You can find our cabinet shop, Up Level Cabinetry, on Facebook, Suman Custom Carpentry. And we're on our website, sumancustomcarpentry.com and uplevelcabinetry.com.
Awesome. Definitely check this stuff out. We will link all of that in the show notes so you can check it out right away. And this has been awesome. It's so nice.
Thank you
to
very
meet
much.
Jason.
Absolutely. Same here.
Your personality matches your work. And
Thank you.
hopefully it won't be too long before I see you or work with someone.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, guys.